reflect those of station staff, management, and advertisers.
All right, what's going on, everybody? A very happy Thursday. Thank you all for joining us. Another very busy news day, by the way, I might add. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. making himself out to be the fool that he is in this Senate hearing. We'll get to that. And obviously much, much more. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Of course, on the YouTube page at PTL Radio Show, we just passed 140,000 subscribers. And the Really American Network, which we're so glad to be a part of, and the ever so growing PTL Nation. We're also in the YouTube Super Chat and the website pushingthelimits.live. So I do want to talk about this Robert F. Kennedy Jr. hearing in front of members of Senate that were absolutely just making him look like the moron that he is. We will certainly get to that, and there's a lot of other stuff to talk about. So why not have my friend Wajahat Ali joining us back on the show? I always love touching base with him. Of course, he runs the Left Hook Substack, and I love his podcast, by the way, Democracy-ish podcast. I watch it all the time. Wajahat, it is a pleasure to see you as always. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing well as one can be in an empire that is collapsing due to its own stupidity, white supremacy, and greed, where a man who has no medical degrees was called a sexual predator by his cousin, has brain worms, and used to eat exotic animals, was put in place to run our Health and Human Services Department, CDC, Medicare, Medicaid, and was revealed to be the fool that he always was. And then Bill Cassidy, the Republican, the doctor, who voted for him, he grilled him real good. But then I want to ask him and all the other Republicans, when you knew all about this, why did you vote for this completely incompetent, reckless, dangerous, unqualified quack who sounded like Darth Vader to be the director of our Health and Human Services at a time when measles is skyrocketing? But other than that, Brian, everything is going well. How about you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right. But everything you said, I agree with. It's lunacy. Let's talk about Cassidy for a moment. I don't like these people on social media that are on the left or anti-Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that are trying to give Cassidy credit. What you said is correct. He decided to vote this guy in. He's one of the main reasons why Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is in that position. And now all of a sudden he wants to grill him. And I'm saying to myself, you're the moron that voted for him in the first place.
He's not. See, this is the thing. He's not a moron. And I'm so glad that you agree with me, because that clip is a great clip, a great gotcha. It reveals RFK's incompetence. However, what I said on social media was exactly what you said. Sir, why did you vote for him? Because Bill Cassidy, you are a doctor. You took the Hippocratic Oath. You knew how dangerous this man is. You are the one who promotes vaccines. And yet you still voted for him because you're so spineless, so craven, so dedicated to the MAGA authoritarian movement that you betrayed your own oath as a doctor to the American people. You betrayed America's public health to a man who is gutting the CDC, firing even the doctor that they appointed. The Republicans appointed the acting CDC director, and she was like, you know what? You're too far gone on this vaccines. And they're like, oh, well, I got to get rid of you. And all the other experts who have then resigned in protest, right? That means, folks, a brain drain of hundreds of years of medical and scientific expertise, all this talent that was put in place, regardless of, Republican administrations, Brian, Democratic administrations. You don't politicize, right, people's health. You take the MMR vaccine. We did. That's why we aren't dead of measles, or that's why we didn't get like rubella. That's why, polio didn't make a comeback. Like LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out, and has come back. Bird flu, right? So what they've done, they knew all of this, folks. That's why I don't want you to give any credit to Bill Cassidy or any Republican. We have to name them and shame them.
Yep.
They knew all of this. We warned our listeners. We talked about it. I have said that the most dangerous horseman of the MAGA apocalypse, Kegseth, is dangerous. Gabbard's dangerous. Okay. All these guys are dangerous. The one that really terrified me the most was RFK. Because, folks, we're talking about the CDC, National Institute of Health. We're talking about our children. We're talking about vaccine hesitancy. We're talking about COVID still being around. And we're talking about this guy who is very shameless, open, transparent, naked, with his crack, nutty, heroin-induced, sorry, crack, no offense to crack, heroin-induced, brain-wormed, addled brain without any medical expertise. And the Trumpers were like, let's let this man kill, folks, I'm using this language very deliberately, kill our children. And they were fine with it, Brian. And Bill Cassidy should have known better. F Bill Cassidy.
I agree. Agree with everything you said 150%. He is Wajahat Ali joining us on the program. All right, so Wajahat, I've said that it's not a coincidence that Donald Trump deploys the National Guard in D.C. Black mayor wants to deploy the National Guard to Chicago. Black mayor wants to deploy the National Guard to Baltimore. Black mayor. And now we talked about New Orleans. Black mayor. I don't think that's a coincidence, Wajahat. What do you say?
I don't think it's a coincidence at all. Oh, you know, the guy who wants the death penalty for the exonerated 5 and to this day still says that they're guilty, even though they were proven innocent. And the man who, you know, promoted the Nazi conspiracy theory of Haitians eating dogs and pets, even though he was told that it was a lie. And the person who has this vendetta against Obama because he'll never be as smart as him, and the person who promoted the birther conspiracy, and the person who with his father, was investigated for racist policies towards black tenants. Oh, what a shock that a racist is racist. And yes, these are not dog whistles. This is him with the bullhorn signaling to his base. Crime addicted cities, where black population. Anarchy, where black populations. Blue cities he's going after, not Louisiana with a huge murder rate, not Tennessee, not Oklahoma, folks. He's going after Chicago. DC's 20 minutes away from me. Union Station, folks, straight up beautiful, pristine. I go there all the time. There's a Lululemon there. There's no need for the National Guard, but he's going. I'm so glad you mentioned not enough people have, and I'm glad you brought it up because I've been trying to bring it up. All of these cities have black mayors. All of them have diverse populations. And what did he say in his rant 2 days ago, the press conference? Was it yesterday, 2 days ago? I don't remember. But I saw all of it. He goes, some people are born criminals. Some people are born criminals. He said that about fellow Americans, eugenics, Nazi science. And he was talking about black people. A criminal projecting. It was all projection, by the way. So this is him riling up his base. And another point that I want to make about how they're deliberately dehumanizing us. Folks, QAnon is a conspiracy theory that was promoted by the right wing and Donald Trump, which says that anybody who opposes Donald Trump is a devil worshiping sex trafficker who wants to kill children. I'm not making this up. And J.D. Vance wrote the foreword to a book called Unhuman that argues that liberals are unhuman. This is dehumanizing language that authoritarians have used in the past to justify violence and a violent crackdown. I just want to connect the dots for folks. That's what we're witnessing, folks.
You're right. And they brag about all the people that they have arrested. And correct me if I'm wrong, Wajahat, the overwhelming majority of those arrests were misdemeanors, correct?
Yeah. And look, I'm here 20 minutes from Union Station. You go there, armed National Guard members literally doing nothing, wasting taxpayer dollars, not being used in the way they're meant to be used, which means it makes us less safe. Mini armored vehicles. Now they're picking up the trash. The people who are already hired to pick up the trash, they got fired. In the DMV area, 90,000 people who are government employees don't have jobs. Speak about jobs. Did you see the job report that just dropped? Lowest job numbers, lowest August job numbers since 2009. So who's going to get fired now, Brian? And notice to distract, guess who? Breaking news. I'm sure you saw it. Going off your point, they just announced, the Justice Department announced that they're going to investigate Lisa Cook, a black woman and the first black person on the federal board.
Yeah, I'm sure that's just a coincidence too. And I'm glad you brought up those job numbers as well. I wonder what excuse he's going to make for that one as well, and who he's going to fire next. You're right about that. So Wajahat, let's talk a little bit about the Epstein files. I can't believe I'm saying this because I can't stand these three women. I think they're despicable human beings. You know who I'm going to talk about. Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Nancy Mace. However, I am going to we shouldn't have to give people credit, by the way, for standing by victims. I think it's a little ridiculous. But in this case, I guess I will. Were you surprised that Marjorie Taylor Greene met with Donald Trump yesterday, spoke about it to the media, said, hey, I want the victims to come in here. I want you to talk to them. And Donald Trump didn't even give her an answer. She admitted that. And she's on the side of where I think most decent people are, which are release the files and be transparent. Were you surprised that Marjorie Taylor Greene and even Boebert or Mace are on that side?
A broken white trash clock is right twice a day. Boebert and MTG are terrible people. Nancy Mace is a flaming hypocrite who should be mocked and ridiculed. On this issue, you can congratulate them, and I'm not surprised. And the reason why I'm not surprised is the following. As I was mentioning, QAnon, the utterly nutty, extreme conspiracy theory that emerged from the swamps of the internet that the FBI said had the potential of radicalizing individuals and groups towards violence, which, by the way, did. Ashley Babbitt, folks. Oh, you know, that violent insurrectionist radicalized by QAnon. Vance Bolter. Oh, you know, that shooter that no one talks about who was a Trump voter and had a list of 70 Democrats he wanted to kill, shot 4 of them, killed 2, also radicalized by QAnon. MTG, Lauren Boebert, the extreme wing of the MAGA, which is now the mainstream, ride these conspiracy theories, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, so they know their base, Brian. Dan Bongino knows his base. The reason why Dan Bongino has gone quiet and the reason why they've brought in the Missouri Attorney General to kind of quietly replace him is Bongino's own base has turned on him. You're a sellout. You promised us the files. They promoted the QAnon conspiracy. Now Kash Patel, by the way, no experience in law enforcement, the head of the FBI. He also made his bones by promoting what? The conspiracies, QAnon. So now they're being seen as sellouts, and MTG and Lauren Boebert are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't want to go the route of Bongino, Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel. We know where our bread is buttered, and our base is radicalized just like us. So they have made the very strategic political decision to align themselves with Massey and Khanna on this issue, because this is the issue. Donald Trump has 2 Achilles cankles, 2 weaknesses, Epstein and the economy. So it's a smart political move, and it's also the right thing to do. And also Marjorie Taylor Greene realizing where the base is going, America first, is more correct. And I hate saying this, I want to throw up in my mouth, but I'll give her credit on Israel than many Democrats, because she sees where the base is. And she's like, why are we sending money to Israel as it's committing genocide? And unfortunately, she's winning over some people, Brian, we live in the United States of Amnesia, man. Yesterday, I was talking to some people, true story, Muslim Arab Americans who said, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she isn't that bad. I'm like, she is terrible. They're like, yeah, but on this issue, this is America, and they represent the United States of Amnesia. So this is literally Democrats ceding the ground to the worst people. Again, you have 2 great messages: fight the oligarchy, fight fascism, go against Netanyahu. What did Democratic leaders do in July? Schumer took a photo with Netanyahu. Like, do you see what I'm saying, Brian? Like, yes, wide open layups.
Yeah, and by the way, people like Ben Shapiro, and I know you do Piers Morgan a lot. I argued this on Piers Morgan as well. If you criticize the Israeli government, that doesn't mean you're anti-Semitic.
No, of course not.
Somebody is Jewish. I can't stand Benjamin Netanyahu. I agree with you. I do believe that Israel at times has committed genocide. I agree. Hamas, terrible organization, terrorist organization. We agree. But that doesn't mean the Israeli government can do whatever the hell they want to do, and thousands of people can be starved in Gaza. So
no, exactly. Phase 5 starvation, man. Phase 5 starvation. Right. And even despite phase 5 starvation and the world seeing this, Netanyahu says, who's going to stop me? Yeah,
you're right. You're right. And unfortunately, Donald Trump is the idiot who listens and believes everything that the Israeli government tells him. And you could go back to George W. Bush. It was the Israeli government that told them that there were weapons of mass destruction. Why? Because it was in Israel's best interest to take down Saddam Hussein. Same issue with Iran. It's in their best interest to take down Iran at our expense.
And it wasn't just Israel. You know who came and addressed the U.S. Congress? I'm old enough to remember. Netanyahu. Oh, how he tried after the war on terror. He said, you know, expand it. Just don't go after Iraq and Afghanistan, Iran. He wants to bomb Iran. And then the dumbass president, pardon my language, who was allegedly America first, who got completely played by Israel and did their job for them, potentially took us to World War III. Thank God there was de-escalation, was Donald Trump. And he didn't even take out their nuclear reactor. Right? So like, that's folks, true. We're in a bad situation. And also some other breaking news about how thoroughly compromised our president is. I don't know if you saw this, came out about 30 minutes ago. Speaking about the poodle, Putin's poodle, Donald Trump has announced that he's going to end security aid to Europe that was used to actually keep Putin in check. So now that's gone as well, alarming all of our allies and alarming, of course, NATO. But if you've noticed, everything that he's done, specifically after laying out the red carpet for Putin a couple of weeks ago, has been in the interest of Putin and Russia.
Not a surprise. Oh, by the way, Wajahat, President Xi, Vladimir Putin, and Kim Jong-un have this meeting. Donald Trump openly admits that they're working against the United States. I forgot the exact wording that he used. I'm just wondering, Is he going to blame Joe Biden for that too? This shouldn't we all
I'm
just
so
say
glad you
this
brought that up.
this wouldn't have happened under Joe Biden, right? Why are they conspiring against the USA under Donald Trump?
I'm so glad you brought that up because it's there's so many alarms going off. There's so many fires. That's a big one, folks. Yeah. You had Modi of India meeting with Xi of China, meeting with Putin of Russia, all laughing it up. And they're literally now creating their own access. Donald Trump, India has a fascist government with Modi. I'm no fan of it, but he doubled down on the tariffs and has alienated India. And the reason for it is because Modi does not support giving Trump the Nobel Peace Prize. I can't make that ish up. And Xi and Putin are way smarter than Trump. And furthermore, today, folks, Axios just reported, and McDonald's CEO also came out and said that brand USA, the American brand, internationally, folks, has plummeted. Our brand in 7 months has become toxic. All these CEOs that bent the knee to Donald Trump because they were perfectly fine with a fascist government who would deregulate, crush workers, and go against the woke. Now they're saying, whoopsie, this is bad. And the McDonald's CEO came out today and said, Americans are skipping breakfast. Okay, so look at the damage, Brian, done in 7 months.
Yeah, no, you're right. The damage is irreparable. I mean, it'll take decades, I think, to come back from what Donald Trump is doing to this nation. I agree with you 150%. I guess my last question for you is this, and then I want to talk a little bit about your podcast and Substack. I get people calling into this show every day, and the MAGAs that call into the show, they make the argument when it comes to the issue of deployment of troops. They say, why are you against making this country safer? Why isn't it a good thing that crime is down? Now, I have a specific answer to that, but I want to know what's your answer to that when a MAGA Republican comes up to you and says, why are you guys against lowering crime rates in these cities? What do you say to that?
Why are you supporting a pro-pedophile president? Why are you supporting a man who gave a minimum security camp transfer to the worst pedophile on earth? Why are you supporting a man who refuses to release the Epstein files? Why are you supporting a man whose appointed acting attorney in Nevada allowed an Israeli government official 2 weeks ago to flee, even though he was arrested in an FBI sting operation for trying to solicit sex from a 15-year-old? Why are you perfectly fine supporting violent insurrectionists? Maybe it's not about crime. Maybe it's because Donald Trump is using and abusing our military and National Guard to become a dictator. Are you for a dictatorship? Last time I checked, we had something called the Tea Party, no taxation without representation. This is a country that went against kings and monarchs and queens. So why are you supporting a man who wants to be a king? And furthermore, if you do support lowering crime, let's just say you're being sincere. Okay. What about Missouri? What about Louisiana? What about Tennessee? All have worse crime rates right now. In fact, the crime rate in DC has gone down. So how come he's only unleashing it in Chicago, LA, and DC? If he truly was worried about crime, okay, I'll take you at your word. DC, Baltimore, LA, okay. How about St. Louis? How about New Orleans? How about Tennessee? How about Oklahoma? How about all these places? Oh, what's that? Cat got your tongue? Oh, my bad.
So well said, Wajahat. I make the same argument. So well said. That's why I love having you on. Before I let you go, I love your Substack. Let's talk a little bit about that. And the Democracy-ish podcast, which I watch every Wednesday. Tell me a little bit about that and how people can check it out.
Yeah, so real quick, I run the Left Hook Substack, no paywalls. I've kept everything for free. Today at 4 o'clock, I'm with my old co-host, Francesca Fiorentini. And then at 5 o'clock, I got Congressman Raskin. So I got him for 25 minutes. I want to ask him specifically, what are Democrats doing to fight back? I want actual solutions. And at 5:30, I have Mehdi Hassan of Zeteo to talk about his latest Guardian article where he says this current Democratic leadership of Schumer and Jeffries won't cut it. I agree with him. With Democracy Issues, me and Danielle Moody, we co-host this live show Monday and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We try to connect the dots, no BS. And on Wednesday, we're live on Substack at 3 p.m. So she is a Black queer woman, a daughter of Jamaican immigrants. I'm a traditional practicing Muslim man, but very progressive in my politics, married to one woman with 3 kids, and I'm a son of Pakistani immigrants. How do we get together? But we work together really well. And I was thinking about this, Brian, it's because we share common values. We're pro-humanity. We're pro-freedom. We're pro-democracy. And so we combine our superpowers together to give you a type of panoramic perspective of America that I think oftentimes is missing in corporate media. And our base is very diverse and very informed, and it's growing. So, and we got to have you on as a guest.
I'd love to. Wajahat, anytime, I'd be honored. Your co-host is awesome, by the way, and I got to get her on this show as well.
Yeah, you got to get her on. She's great.
Love to. I will do that next week, and obviously I'll do your podcast anytime. Again, we still got to get on the Piers Morgan show together. By the way, they texted me the other day. I'll just say this on the air. Was this yesterday? Yeah. Yesterday, they texted me at 6 a.m. I was sleeping. They're like, hey, do you want to debate Benny Johnson on the show today? And I was sleeping. I didn't get up till like 7. They texted me at like 5:36 in. I texted him back. I'm like, sure. I'm like, oh, we already found somebody else. I was chomping at the bits. I was ready to go at Benny Johnson.
Well, it's just so funny. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. I like 20 minutes before, they're like, last second, we switch it up. We're talking about Tom Homan and immigration. Can you do it? I'm like, I mean, if you would have invited me like a normal human like yesterday, I would have. So it is interesting. I think the reason why they haven't invited us for the past month is on the domestic issue. It's very hard to support Trump, Brian.
Right. That's what I was thinking too. I was thinking the exact same thing. But hey, listen, when it comes to Benny Johnson, I'd love to talk about all of his lies and all the money he took from oligarchy Russians. So I was
remind him about his plagiarism also.
Yeah, and the fire that he spoke lies about. I mean, it's just nonstop with these idiots. Tim Pool's another one. Wajahat, I love you, my friend. I'd love to do your podcast anytime, and I always appreciate it when you take the time to come on. Keep up the great work, my friend, and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Take care. Bye, everyone.
It. All right, there you go, everybody. I love that guy. Such a smart guy. So great at what he does. Wajahat Ali is one of the best in the business. Check out his Left Hook Substack. Democracy-ish podcast. We've been trying to get on the Piers Morgan show together for a very long time. By the way, that is a true story. Yesterday at like 5 a.m, 5:30-ish, I was sleeping. I know that sounds crazy for some of you. Yes, at 5:30 in the morning, I'm usually sleeping. So I wake up at like 7 a.m, and I see a text message from the Piers Morgan people, and it says, hey, we'd like you to debate Benny Johnson on the show. I said, yeah, I'll do it. Let's go. And then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, we already got somebody else. And I don't know. If I put my phone, like, other than vibrate, if I put my phone where the audio's on, I'll be waking up every 10 seconds. So, because I get messages in the middle of the night. So, I turn my phone off. So there you go. Hopefully one day I will be able to debate Benny Johnson. It would have been fun the other day, but oh well. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I want to go to the YouTube super chat real quickly, where Winnie says, why is it that everything they do seem to advance the goal of unaliving as many of us as possible? Well, that does seem to be the case. I don't necessarily disagree with you. Lori says, Brian, to your guest, I want to thank him for what he's doing. He's more American than some who were born here. I was born here, and he knows more about this country than I do. Well, listen, Wajahat's an extremely educated, intelligent guy. I try to get really good guests on this show, and Wajahat is certainly one of them. He's awesome. So he'll be doing this show again very, very soon. He's great. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. completely destroyed, proven to be a liar once again. I'm going to play you the audio that proves that he's a liar, completely embarrassing himself and getting destroyed by Democrats and Republicans. I'm not making this up. We have the audio to play for you next. Stick around. We'll be back in 90 seconds. You're listening to Pushing the Limits right All right, welcome back. It is Pushing the Limits on a Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. I was texting my friend Don Lemon earlier this morning. Boy, is he doing some great work out there in D.C. Did you see the run-in he had with Marjorie Taylor Greene? Oh, my God, the video is just incredible. She's treating him so horrible. And, in fact, I agree with Don Lemon. I applaud Marjorie Taylor Greene for being on the side of these victims from Jeffrey Epstein. I texted Don Lemon. We're going to try to get him on the show tomorrow, hopefully. So we are working on that. Already booked on the show tomorrow is very smart economist Justin Wolfers is going to be joining us to start the show tomorrow as well. So certainly looking forward to that. We are in the YouTube Super Chat for anybody who wants their questions or comments to be read live on the air. Of course, my YouTube page at PTL Radio Show. So earlier this morning, we saw Robert F. Kennedy Jr. speaking in a Senate hearing about vaccines, and he was absolutely grilled and destroyed, not just by Democrats, by Republicans as well. Now, the Republicans who were blasting him are the same ones who voted for him, so they have zero credibility. But I want you to listen to this exchange. There's plenty of exchanges that brought some fireworks to the hearing. I want to start with Bernie Sanders, who's done this show before. So Bernie Sanders was making the case that, basically everybody in that room has, received money in some way, shape, or form from the pharmaceutical industry. But yet Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is making the case that he's never done that before. By the way, that's a lie. Have a listen to this exchange.
Got a few doctors who agree with you, and I'm giving you the
Not a few doctors. What you're talking about is there's a big difference, Senator, between established science and the scientific establishment, which has been co-opted by the pharmaceutical industry.
So you're telling the American people that the American Medical Association, representing hundreds of thousands of people, have been co-opted and that they should not trust their doctors.
And I'm
the American Academy of Pediatrics, and by the way, just for the record, every single Republican, I don't mean to be political here, Mr. Chairman, has received PAC money from the pharmaceutical industry. Are they all corrupt as well?
And I'm telling you, the American Heart Association has been co-opted by the food
Everybody
industry.
but you, Senator. But you know what? When you ran for president, we have a corrupt campaign finance system. Maybe you'll agree with me on that. Okay, you were running for president, you had $1 billion behind it. You received $300,000 from people, not from the industry, people in it, as I did, from individuals. You corrupt. President Trump got $3 million. Every Republican got corporate PAC money for the pharmaceutical industry. Democrats as well. Everybody is corrupt, but you? Is that what we're looking at? I don't think so. And I think the issue now...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The issue is every time anyone disagrees with you...
Are you saying the pharmaceutical industry was supporting my presidential campaign?
I don't think so. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the pharmaceutical industry is a greedy institution which is charging us the highest prices in the world. They are pervasive. But to suggest that every institution, the AMA, the pediatrics people, is corrupt because they disagree with you is an insult to the American people.
Listen, people disagree with me all the time. I have arguments in my agency, heated arguments every day with Jay Bhattacharya, with Marty McCary, with Dr. Oz.
You have given the names of a few people. I have given you the names of organizations representing hundreds of thousands of doctors and scientists. I yield, Mr. President.
Senator Tiller.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? You received this, this, and this. Why should we listen to you other than the brilliant doctors all over the country? I don't know what you're talking about. God, that voice. And then there's Elizabeth. By the way, great job, Bernie Sanders. I love Bernie Sanders when he grills these idiots. And so does Elizabeth Warren. Now, Elizabeth Warren is making the case that 1 month earlier, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. describes somebody as unimpeachable and has full confidence in somebody, and then he fires her a month later. This is a mesmerizing exchange. It's insane. Have a listen to this.
So, I'm sorry, but this is not what she has said publicly. She has said...
I'm not surprised about that.
So you're saying she's lying?
Yes. Every conversation I had with her, there were
witnesses. Let me get this straight. This is the same person that less than a month earlier, you stood next to her and described her as unimpeachable, and you had full confidence in her, and that you had full confidence in her scientific credentials. And in a month, she became a liar?
Yeah, you should ask her what changed. And by the way, a month ago, you were voting against her. Oh, because you thought she was either incompetent, ineligible, or unsuited to the task.
I voted against her because I was afraid she was going to bend the knee to you and Donald Trump. And it looks like she didn't bend the knee, so you fired her. Look, you're putting America's babies' health at risk, America's seniors' health at risk, all Americans' health at risk, and you should resign.
Senator Sanders.
Amen. Amen, Elizabeth Warren. Well done. He won't resign because of his ego. He is incompetent. And what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is doing is he's denying people vaccines. Elizabeth Warren makes that point. It's truth. It's not an opinion, it's fact. And here is RFK Jr. lying under oath. Have a listen to this.
I'm sorry?
Anybody can get it, Senator.
Anybody. So you're saying that is now the official rule of HHS. Anybody is eligible to get a booster by just walking into the pharmacy.
It's not recommended for healthy people.
No. If you don't recommend, then the consequence of that in many states is that you can't walk into a pharmacy and get one. It means insurance companies don't have to cover the $200 or so cost. As Senator Dr. Cassidy said, you are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like this.
And that is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Listen to that logic. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. knows that's what he's doing. And I'll repeat what Elizabeth Warren said because she's absolutely 100% correct. When Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the morons that work with him say that the vaccines are not recommended for certain people, that age group of those people that want to get the vaccine, their insurance won't cover it. And in many cases, when your insurance doesn't cover medication or in this case, a vaccine, they don't get it because they don't have the money. That's what Elizabeth Warren is trying to say. This isn't brain surgery. Okay, maybe the brainworm on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. doesn't seem to grasp what's going on here. When you don't recommend something and people want it, they won't be able to have access to it for free and their insurance won't cover it. Why is that so hard for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to understand? He's a liar. And I am proud of somebody here in Nevada, Catherine Cortez Masto, who I've met many a times and I've had plenty of conversations with her. She also grilled Robert F. Kennedy Jr. today. Have a listen to this exchange showing how incompetent and how ill-informed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is.
It's just the opposite. So you're saying the CBO and independent agencies that validate the costs are wrong?
That is CMS data.
Okay, so let's just focus on the cancer drugs. Why aren't we negotiating those and bringing those down for families? Why does the bill exempt those?
It's part of the MFN negotiations. I'm not sure of that provision in the bill, of the one beautiful bill, but
You're not sure of the provision, the negotiation provision, and how exempted
for
cancer drugs?
Keytruda.
Your agency is responsible for that negotiation, and you don't know about it?
I know that we're negotiating in the MFN
Let me ask you this, Mr.
negotiations.
Secretary.
So let me get this right. The guy who runs the agency in these negotiations in the big and beautiful bill has no idea what's in there. He has no idea what he's doing. He is so incompetent. And then we go to Warner. And then Warner asked him about Medicaid. As you know, in this big and beautiful bill, over 15 million people are going to lose their medical coverage. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr., under oath, once again, is lying to the American people, just like many of these people on the right are when they say nobody's going to lose their Medicaid coverage. It's a blatant lie. He's under oath, and listen to this.
Well, they aren't. Everybody can get the vaccine.
Because you are citing data that you won't produce to the public.
You're just
and you
making
are
things up.
rejecting
You're
science.
making things up to scare people, and it's a lie. With respect,
I do not think I'm the one making things
you
up.
are
Thank you,
lying
Mr. Chair.
right now, Senator.
All right, so I wanted to play you that cut first because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is saying Hassan is lying. But Warner then asked him about Medicaid and the fact that so many millions of people in this country are going to lose their Medicaid coverage. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is blatantly lying about it. Listen.
They can't get to a nutritionist because Medicaid doesn't do enough reimbursement. If you're going to want Americans to get healthier, should they have access to nutritionists? Should they have access to good science about healthy food?
Absolutely.
Well, then how is that going to happen with the Medicaid cuts that are taking place?
There are no cuts to Medicaid.
Sir, that is an absurd. There is not a single, some of my Republican colleagues, but there is not a single study that does not, and I can tell you, I was in Franklin, Virginia a couple days ago. The rural hospital is going to close.
That is a blatant, bald-faced lie, period. A blatant lie. Now, Cantwell also was grilling Robert F. Kennedy Jr. It was one after another, making him look like the imbecile that he is. And Cantwell asked him a basic question in regards to the context of what they were talking about. Because, as you know, Donald Trump called the Epstein thing a hoax yesterday, which clearly it's not. Everybody who is anywhere in the world understands that yesterday there were some victims that were speaking out at a press conference, yet Robert F. Kennedy Jr. claims he has no idea what Cantwell's talking about. Have a listen to this.
Do you think the women on the steps of the Capitol were a hoax yesterday?
I don't know about any women on the steps of the Capitol.
The women who were talking about Epstein, do you think they were a hoax yesterday?
Do I think they were
Do you think they were perpetrating a hoax yesterday?
perpetuating a hoax?
Yeah.
I have no idea what they were saying. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
You're hearing about the women on the Capitol steps saying that they believe that the Epstein information should be made public. That's the first you're hearing about it. What I'm saying is you are perpetrating hoaxes. You, as this Secretary of Health, so you're undermining the whole healthcare delivery system, and you keep trying to point to chronic disease, but you're not putting solutions on the table to cover more Americans, and you're taking away the science and technology that has made us the leader that has saved, according to the first Trump administration Surgeon General, millions of lives, and you don't want to keep that going. So no, I don't support your continued efforts as Secretary, and I definitely think that our colleagues need to rally around science. If you want the Northwest to continue to lead on all innovation and all healthy people, okay, we'll do that. But it's a sad statement for the rest of America and America's leadership on technology. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. Good job there. Then we'll go to a Republican, and this is somebody that I give no credit to because Cassidy is really one of the main reasons a deciding Republican on putting Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in there. And now all of a sudden Cassidy, who has medical experience, who knew that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was a bad choice and should be nowhere near this position, now all of a sudden he wants to grill Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And even though he's right with the line of questioning that he did, because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now denying people vaccines when your insurance company will not cover it, because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is basically saying, and his company is saying, they're not recommending it to a certain group of people. You're denying access to certain people to the vaccine. So here's Cassidy basically making that argument, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. lying once again.
Secondly, an email from a physician friend of mine. Hey, Bill, I'm not even sure what I'm asking you, but we're all confused and concerned about who can get the COVID vaccine. We are having our attorney try and render an opinion, but there's no firm guidance and concern about liability if vaccines are given to a patient who requests it, but not on the current CDC list. Pharmacists are requiring a prescription now even for patients over 65, creating a huge headache. I submit these for the record.
Without objection.
I would say effectively we're denying people vaccine.
Senator Cantwell.
You're wrong.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following up on that same line.
Yeah, there you go. Well, here's the problem, Mr. Cassidy. You voted that guy in office. Now you have to own it, and it's too late. We criticized you then, and we're criticizing you now. You knew this was going to happen. You knew this man is a dishonest man. He's a terrible human being, and he is dangerous to this country. Yet you still voted yes. We will never forgive you for that, and I don't care what you say now. I don't care if you admit you made a mistake. It doesn't matter. You bent the knee to Donald Trump. That's exactly what you did. Now, I am going to prove to you right now, because it's very easy to do so, what a bald-faced, blatant liar Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is. So, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. went on Fox News the other day after the massacre that took place in Minneapolis, and he started blaming it on antidepressants. So Smith asked him about that. We're going to play you the audio, but here's Robert F. Kennedy Jr. lying, saying that Smith is making stuff up.
It's incredible. But let me move on. Just last week, in the days after the tragic shooting at Annunciation Catholic School in my home state of Minnesota, you went on Fox News blaming school shootings on antidepressants. You have no evidence of that because you have no evidence of a connection. And you want to talk about...
You're just saying something. You're just making stuff up.
You know, this is what you say, right? Secretary Kennedy, when someone presents you with information that does not fit...
I did not blame that shooting. I have no idea whether... I have no idea, and I never said that. You're making it up. You're twisting. Yeah, you are.
Secretary
you are being
Kennedy,
dishonest right now.
If you want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country, if you want to talk about mental health and gun violence in this country, we should be talking about that, because that's what the parents of Annunciation School...
You don't want to talk. You want to harangue, and you want to politically, you want to have partisan politics. I want to actually solve these problems.
Oh, okay. Well, let's see here. I found an audio clip from the other day of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talking about this massacre that took place in Minneapolis, and he did start blaming it on antidepressants. How do we know this? I have the audio to play it for you, and here it is.
Yeah, we are doing those kind of studies now at NIH. We're launching studies on the potential contribution of some of the SSRI drugs and some of the other psychiatric drugs that might be contributing to violence.
There you are. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just the other day saying that it might be contributing to this type of violence. And then a couple days later, under oath, says that Smith is lying and she's making stuff up. I mean, this guy is such a lie. He just said it the other day on Fox News. I just played it for you. There's the proof. It's unbelievable. Everything out of this guy's mouth is a lie. Oh, and by the way, speaking of lies, Lara Trump. So she appeared on Fox Business, and she's trying to make the case that prices on everything are coming down when it comes to grocery prices. Before I give you the actual percentages of how grocery prices are going up, listen to Lara Trump, who might lie even more than Robert F. Kennedy Jr., if that's possible, trying to convince people that prices are going down. Listen to this exchange.
For the Democrats, look, prices are coming down. It's not going to happen immediately, but people are actually feeling it out there. This is the thing they should have been paying attention to a year ago when the American people were saying, you know, inflation is really high. It's coming down with Donald Trump. We see the numbers all over the place.
Really, it is? Well, let me give you guys the facts here. And I know this will shock some of you MAGA supporters out there that Lara Trump is either ill-informed or blatantly lying. Coffee is up 14.5% under Donald Trump. Beef is up 12% under Donald Trump. Bananas are up 4% under Donald Trump. Electricity is up 4% under Donald Trump. Please name me one thing that's cheaper under Donald Trump.
They don't know what the they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Laura doesn't, that's for sure. Laura doesn't know what she's doing, that's for sure. Laura, whatever the hell her name is. Just absolutely insane. We will be taking some phone calls at 702-221-7283. Name me something that the prices have dramatically dropped since Donald Trump took office. By the way, the new job numbers have just come out. And job growth in the report that came out a few hours ago, the worst it's been since 2009. If I do the math correctly, that's about 16 years. So we have the worst job growth we've had in 16 years. All those grocery prices have gone up. Tourism is way down. Las Vegas is struggling. People are struggling to live paycheck to paycheck while they're going to lose their Medicaid coverage. Many of them are going to lose their food stamps. So please, try to convince me. What is Donald Trump doing so well? I do want to go to the YouTube Super Chat real quickly. Let's start with No Money. No Money on the YouTube Super Chat says, don't forget RFK had over 80 people who lost their lives in Samoa from his anti-vax measles campaign back in 2018, 2019. No Money, not only do I know that, but I actually addressed that with him in person, and he said it was a lie. I spoke about that to him face to face, and he lied to me. So, if you are a Trump supporter, you're welcome to call in. What has Donald Trump done so well? What has he done so well? How is he helping the economy? It's not the tariffs. That's for sure. It's not this big and beautiful bill. That's for sure. The biggest tax breaks for the top 1% in the history of this country. No, it's not. As Alexa says, I am very immune, compromised, and I could lose my life if I get the least little thing. People can carry stuff, she says. And listen, Alexa, I'm on your side on that, by the way. There's a lot of people that are compromised like you are, and I'm worried about their health. I want them to get the health care that they need. So many of these people are on Medicare. I keep telling all of you guys that. And so many people are going to lose their health care coverage. All right, so now's the time to call in. 702-221-7283. That's 702-221-SAVE is the number to call. And what did you guys make of Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s testimony? Under oath, by the way. Just making himself look like the complete imbecile that he is. At least that's my take on it. I want to get your thoughts on that. And for you Trump supporters out there, what are you happy about? Are you happy about the ballroom? What has Donald Trump done that you're happy about? What are you grateful for that he has done? Do you disagree with me? Do you think I'm not telling the truth about grocery prices? You could look that stuff up yourself. I didn't just get those stats out of thin air. You must be having me confused with OAN, Newsmax, or Fox Noise. No, Donald Trump isn't giving us 1,500% discounts on pharmaceutical drugs. No, Donald Trump is not lowering the price of all these groceries that many of you need. Donald Trump is actually taking away food stamps. He's taking away Medicaid while he sends and deploys our National Guard into cities that all have black mayors. I wonder if that's a coincidence. What do you think? 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you would like to be a part of the conversation. All right, let's start off with X. Hello, X. Thanks for calling in. What's on your mind?
Oh, what I wanted to tell you was one of the things that I noticed have fallen down, a little bit noticeably. I'm not going to say by a huge amount, but a little bit noticeably is the gas prices.
Where were the gas prices at when Joe Biden left office, and what is the national average of gas right now?
It's at an all-time. It's an all-time. What
was the price?
Everybody reports it.
Okay, hold on. I didn't ask you if everybody reports it. You're the one that's calling into this show with respect, and you're saying that he's lowered the cost of gas. By the way, it takes over 6 months to a year for any policies that have been implemented to affect gas prices, but that's okay. Let me ask you a simple question since you made that claim. What were the gas prices when Joe Biden left office, and what are the gas prices now? I'm just asking because I'm curious. That's all.
Oh, in my state, like in California, it was like $5.
I didn't ask you about California. That wasn't my question. I need you to focus. Hold on. No. You made the claim that Donald Trump is lowering the price of gas. I want the national average when Joe Biden left office. And what is the national average right now? I think it's a very simple question because you're the one making the claim.
Look all around you, man.
Why can't you answer? No. It's falling down.
It's falling down.
When you make a claim, you have to give me the actual numbers. For example, When Donald Trump claims that grocery prices are way down, I just gave you the stats on coffee, beef, bananas. I gave you the actual stats. When you make a claim like that, you have to back it up with actual numbers. I'm being fair with you. I'm not asking an unfair question.
I know.
So please tell me.
Do you notice it in Nevada that the gas prices are always up or not? That's what I'm saying.
I paid over $4 a gallon of gas, so no, I would respectfully disagree with you on that. But let's just say you're right. Now I know what the numbers are, but I just find it weird that you call into a show and you give me.
$4.
I just find it weird.
Like $3.69, $3.79.
I just find it weird that you call into a show and you don't have the numbers. That's all. I just find it a little strange. But what do you think about inflation? What do you think about these grocery prices that are up? What do you think about the job numbers that came out today? Does it concern you? Even if gas is down a little bit, does it concern you that these are the worst job growth numbers that we've seen since 2009, X? Doesn't that concern you?
As far as the federal government goes, I'm not a Trump supporter. I've said it from day one. But what's given to him, I gotta give him credit on the gas prices.
Okay, but that wasn't my question. Okay. I just told you that the job numbers that just came out earlier this morning are some of the worst numbers that we've had since 2009. I'm wondering why. I'm wondering why. Just tell me.
He's cutting a lot from the federal government, which I disagree with.
Okay, but you're bragging to me about how you might be saving a few bucks on gas, even though you don't have the numbers. But yet I give you the numbers of inflation when it comes to grocery prices. I explained to you right now that the job growth is the worst it's been since 2009. What do you think is more important? If you're spending maybe 20 cents less on gas, or the job numbers are horrendous? It's a ghost town here in Las Vegas. Tourism is way down. The economy clearly is struggling. Most economists that are not biased would tell you we're headed towards a recession. But you want to brag about how you might be saving a few bucks on gas? By the way, the president of the United States doesn't set gas prices either. I just want to be very clear on that. I said that under Joe Biden. I say that under Donald Trump.
But how he's drilling, stuff like that.
How is he drilling? How is he drilling?
Like the oils and stuff like that.
Where's he drilling? Where's he drilling? Where's he drilling? X, where's he drilling?
Fossil fuels.
X, where is he drilling? What is he doing that Joe Biden didn't do?
The gas prices are falling.
Where is he drilling? Where is he drilling? Where is he drilling? Where is he drilling that Joe Biden wasn't drilling? Can you please answer that for me?
Fossil fuels. Like Joe Biden was green energy and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't understand. You make I know, but X, this is my frustration. You make a claim and then you don't have any facts to back up your claim. The president of the United States doesn't set the prices, okay, for gas. In fact, I made the claim under Joe Biden that these oil companies had record profits when Joe Biden was president. It's called greed. That's what it is called, okay? There is a direct correlation between grocery prices and the president's policies. For example, I can guarantee you that the tariffs and so many of these migrants, some of whom have been deported, are the reason why you're paying more money for groceries, okay? You claim that he's drilling more. That's not true. You don't know what you're talking about.
Gas prices are noticeably lower.
Okay, all right. I appreciate the call, X. Obviously, you struggle to follow what I am saying. It seems like we get to that place in every phone call, but I appreciate you calling in, X. Let's go to Mish. Mish is next up on PTL. Hello, Mish. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, B?
What's up? How's it going?
Not much, man. Thank you for letting me up, man. I'm calling from Pittsburgh, man. First caller, but mad viewer on TikTok.
I am, yes, sir.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to say, I thank you for letting me up, and I just want to say, bro, Donald Trump has done nothing. Okay, nothing for the American people.
I would say it's done far worse than that. I think not only has he, I agree with you, not only has he done nothing, but there are people that are going to lose their health care coverage, people that are going to lose their food stamps. There are people that are losing their jobs. We just had the worst employment numbers, job growth that we've had since 2009. So not only is he doing nothing, I agree with you, but he's also creating a lot of damage to this country. I'm sure you would agree with that.
Oh yeah, especially when it comes to mental health. I just was left on TikTok, and they was talking about the Wall Street Journal just came out with a report that Donald Trump is and his administration is now attacking the trans community as far as buying guns and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's funny as hell that Donald Trump is doing that, being though that Donald Trump and Doge defunded ACA, which affects Medicaid, which affects mental health institutions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So he has done nothing.
Well, I agree with you. And if let's just keep in mind as well all the promises that he made. He said he would end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. Obviously, you remember that, right? He's the one who made that claim.
90 deals in 90 days. B?
Right. He's the one. Right. The 90. You're right about that too. 90 deals in 90 days. How many? And he had built a wall and Mexico was going to pay for it. Did those things ever come to fruition?
No, sir. No, sir. Neither.
Yeah. Well, Misha, I'm with you, my friend. I'm with you.
But also, and you know what? I love, they love Joe Biden, right? Joe Biden whooped his ass. See, Joe Biden came in with a plan of whooped his anus. I'm sorry if I cuss wrong, but he whooped his anus when it came to infrastructure. Donald Trump also said
bipartisan.
That he was going to do infrastructure.
Yeah, bipartisan infrastructure bill. Donald Trump said he'd get that done. Joe Biden is the guy that got that done as well.
Yes, sir.
And then Joe Biden is the one that tried to put together a bipartisan deal when it came to border security, and Donald Trump told the senators not to do it. Misha, I do appreciate your phone call. Thank you for watching on TikTok. MAGA callers are always welcome to call into this show. They're just afraid to. 702-221-SAVE, 702-221-7283. Let's go to John. John is next on PTL. What's up, John?
Hi, Brian. I love your show. A neighbor of mine turned me on to you guys. You and Leonard, and who's the young lady that you have on there with you? It's great to listen to you guys.
Well, thank you.
I laugh. I have to laugh at the Trump supporters that call in, and when you show them the facts, they say, "Oh well, I have to look at it. I mean, come on."
Just like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. today when he was asked about the Epstein victims who held a press conference, and he said, "Oh, I didn't hear about that."
Oh yeah.
Same thing.
You guys give me a lot of ammunition. So when I come up against these guys in our neighborhood and in our area, and they say they support Trump, I can say, "Okay, give me some policies. Give me something that."
No, they can't do that. They can't even say what the three branches of government are. They're so stupid. They can't say.
No. But I won't keep you long because I know there's probably.
I will say this. I appreciate your comments. I just wish we could get some supermodels to call in that said that I turned them on as well. That's my only request.
Yeah. I'm a vet. Yeah.
Thank you for your service, my friend. I appreciate you.
I'm a veteran, and I don't like the guy. Even when he was doing his reality show.
I didn't either. But let me say this. You are not a sucker and you are not a loser. You are what I would call a hero. And I appreciate your service to this country. And I am honored that you listen to this show, my friend. Thank you so much. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Dave is calling out of California. Hello, Dave.
Hey, what's up, Brian? Thanks for taking my call.
Yep. What's going on?
That guy is Stuttering John from Howard Stern, and the other guy from Charlie Brown is going to be calling you very soon, I'm sure. The one that always calls you. Remember that one? They'd always say, "Sir, sir, sir." I'm getting tired of that guy. So
if Stuttering John called into the show, I'd actually be honored, believe it or not.
Oh, I would too.
I love Stuttering. I love Stuttering John. I love the Howard Stern show, even though he made a big mistake leaving the Stern show. I did meet Stuttering John. He's actually a pretty nice guy.
I bet he is. Yeah, I've actually called the show before, Howard Stern show before, and I can't believe I got in. So, but anyway, make a long story short, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be sending you some money on the donation. I want you to.
Thank you.
You're going to freak out in a second. In a second, I'm going to do that right after this. So
wow, that's really nice of you. Thank you, John.
So no problem. So my question is to you is that I just want to talk to the MAGA people and all the people, the Republicans. Look, I just want to let you know. All right. So, the border does not pay your bills. So I don't know why in the hell you voted for this guy. It does not pay your bills, folks. The border does not pay your bills. Taking money from the veterans does not pay your bills. But I'll tell you one thing, it's the wrong thing that they did by taking money from the wrong people in the first place. Yeah, so these people, so the other thing I want to bring up too is this. When I hire people, like people that do, like housework, how builders and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
You know what I do? I check to see who they voted for, and they voted for a Republican. I won't hire those people to do any kind of work.
Don't blame you. I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
And and so I can do that too, because I can find out where they live at by the address. Everything's public record. It tells me who they voted for, and I won't do business with those people.
I don't blame you.
My quote. So I just don't. They get pissed off when they do that, especially that other guy from Charlie Brown. So
when you support a pedo and you support a 34 count felon, I think it speaks volumes of who you are as a human being.
Well, yeah.
Why would you want somebody like that working for you? Why would you want someone like that? Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I'm just getting sick and tired that these people, the only ones that I feel sorry for, the ones that have some kind of, the ones that are having their food stamps, losing their jobs, and it's all over Las Vegas, like $25 a hot dog, salad is $50. Greed is really destroying your tourism. Mm-hmm. It's destroying your.
I think it's a mixture of that. I think you're right. I think the hotels are very greedy, but I'm also going to say this: some of Donald Trump's policies have absolutely put us in the place that we are in now. Dave, thank you so much for your phone call. I appreciate you, and thank you for your support in advance. You sound like a really good dude, and I do appreciate you coming on the show and calling in. Again, MAGA supporters are always welcome. 702-221-7283. Let's now go to Tammy. Tammy is next up on PTL. Hello, Tammy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's on your mind, Tammy?
Okay, look, I am so sick of the Republican and their attacks on trans individuals.
Yeah.
We have military members who served next to the people in our service, and my husband served for 20 years.
God bless him.
There were
I said, God bless him for serving.
Yeah, thank you. And there were trans members of service then. And they took just as good care of this country as anybody else.
Let me be very clear. I agree with you. I do not care what is between somebody's legs. When you're willing to make the sacrifice to serve this nation, as long as you fit the requirements, the physical requirements, in fact, I will commend you, and I don't care what is between your legs. You could be a man, you could be a woman, you could be both. I don't care. What I care about are people that serve this country honorably. Donald Trump is a draft dodger. He's a 3-time draft dodger who's never done anything for anybody else in his life but himself. Okay. He is a coward. He is the one who said he didn't respect John McCain because he was captured. He is the one that called people like your husband, right? Suckers and losers. Right. No, they're heroes. They're heroes is what they are. Donald Trump is the coward. He's the sucker, and he's the loser who's never sacrificed anything in his life.
Right. But let me tell you, my husband made those sacrifices for 20 years, and we now have a trans child, okay? My husband fought for years for my child to have rights, okay? Mm-hmm. And now people are taking them away from my child from my husband.
How old is your child, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, he's 30 now, but he was 18 when his transition started.
And how is he doing?
Mentally? Right now, he's terrified.
I don't understand, and I'm sorry to hear that. I don't understand why people care what other people do to their bodies. Okay? It's his body. I feel the same way about abortion. Okay? Mm-hmm. If a woman wants to get an abortion, which is, of course, a difficult decision at times, and I don't wish that on anybody, it should be ultimately her choice. If your son, I would imagine born as a woman, wanted to have trans surgery, that is his choice to do so. And the government shouldn't be allowed to step in and say, no, you can't do that. Or a crusty MAGA Republican saying, no, that's wrong. It should be a decision that parents make. It should be a decision that doctors make, psychologists make. It's a personal decision, okay? And the fact that there are so many people on the right, because let's be very frank, there's nobody on the left that is saying, oh, you can't be trans, or they care more about drag queens, and they think trans people are more of a threat to society than white supremacy. So how could you have a conversation with these people? They're a bunch of idiots is what they are.
Well, see, here's my problem. This has terrified me to the point that I not only fear for my son, but when my community living in the South found out that this was happening in my family, my family, who served 20 years, was totally ostracized from our community, from our church, from our friends, from our family, because they're all maggots.
Right.
And you know, if people do not learn to come together somehow, some way, then this country's going to fail.
I agree. I think we've taken a lot of steps back. You know, listen, I'm going to be frank and I'm going to be honest with you. Transgender is not my thing. What I mean by that is I wouldn't date one. I would have no problem. I would be a friend to someone. In fact, I do have some friends that are trans people. I treat them the same as anybody else. And people are so up in arms about pronouns. How does it affect you whether you call someone she or he? How does that affect you in your life? I don't understand why people want to get involved in other people's personal lives. Now, it's not my thing. It's not something I would do. It's not somebody that I would date. It's not my type. It's not somebody I would date. But it doesn't mean I'm going to be disrespectful, that I'm going to treat them as they are. Human beings with different orientations. And even though, you know, that's my whole thing in society. Stop telling other people what to do. Okay? Don't tell people what God to believe in, what religion to believe in. Stop telling people what books they should or shouldn't read. Stop telling parents what to do with their kids. Like if they want to take their kids to drag queen reading, get out of their lives. I thought Republicans were they don't want all this government involved, but yet they're totally okay with the government being involved with somebody if they want to get married or if they want to have trans surgery. My dear, because they are a bunch of hypocrites. I wish your son the best, by the way. I'm sorry he's struggling with so many bigots in this country, but just let your son know that I am just somebody that is on his side, as I would say for anybody that is trans, for anybody that is gay, minorities in this country, anybody underprivileged. You're a human being. I don't care whether you're documented or undocumented. You all need to be treated as human beings. But the MAGA Republican Party, it's Make America White Again. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Terry. Terry's next. What's up, Terry?
Hey, Brian. Good afternoon. Hey. Two things. First of all, I don't think Lara Trump's ever been in a grocery store, so she's clueless about.
You're probably right. She also never has had singing lessons. That's my understanding.
Yeah, bad singer. Second thing is, I am very concerned about this COVID vaccine situation because I know I need to get one, and I remember enough from COVID and how it mutates. And that's why we get these boosters and vaccines. And is he trying to start another damn pandemic?
Well, here's what I think. It's a good question that you asked. I've been saying this about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for a long time. We know he's a terrible man. He's a liar. He's a cheater. He's a scumbag. Members of his family have called him an abuser. We know that he's treated women terribly his whole life, and we also know that he is a conspiracy theorist who wears a tinfoil hat. Let me be very clear. Nobody that has the beliefs that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has should be making any decisions for the American people in any way, shape, or form. It could be health. It could be, anything. Education. He is a lunatic. He is a crazy person. He is a dishonest person. And quite frankly, the last person that anybody should take any advice from when it comes to our health and what we put in our bodies. That's how I feel.
Totally agree. I totally agree with that. Like I said, I'm just concerned that, this is going to be very problematic for a lot of older people.
Of course it is. Not even to mention, Terry, my dear, all the people that are going to be losing their medical coverage and their Medicaid. Let's go to Aaron. Aaron is next up on PTL. Hey, Aaron, what's going on?
Hey, Brian. First off, I'm going to say I agree with everything you said. And Leonard, thanks for your service. But I am going to make one quick comment. You talked about how the pronouns affect people.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, and I don't know how much you know of Canada, but I'm from the 60 scoop. And I was placed in Indian residential school. Okay. They used to only call us by pronouns until we actually earned our name. And it's a little bit triggering for me, right? Calling someone by pronouns, because we weren't allowed to be talk our native language. We weren't, and that's the only thing I wanted to say.
But how does that correlate? Help me understand. How does that correlate to the trans stuff?
When we weren't allowed names, we were raped, we were abused.
Okay, well, obviously that's horrible, and I'm very sad to hear that.
The church would not allow us.
Okay, I understand. I'm sorry to hear
be
that.
Called by our name.
I know, sir. I understand what you're saying, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. But I want to ask you a question since we're talking about pronouns. Do you care whether you call somebody a he or a she? If someone's trans?
No, I don't. I prefer to go by names because.
Well, that's fine too. That's fine too. I understand that. Call somebody by their name. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but when someone tells me to go by they, them, or whatever, it really brings up a lot of bad memories of what I dealt with.
Listen, sir, I understand what you're saying, and I empathize with you. All I'm simply saying is, and I think we agree on this, there are too many people, at least in America, that are so bent out of shape about pronouns, not wanting to call someone he or she. And what I say is, it doesn't affect me. I'll be respectful to you, whether I think you're a man or a woman. I don't care. I'm not dating you. I don't care. I'm going to be respectful and call you he or she. I don't know why there are so many people in America that are obsessed with this, and they're all on the far right. Oh, I'm not going to call you by this pronoun or that pronoun. It's like the Nancy Maces of the world. Like, I don't understand these people. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
But it's some for a lot of First Nations.
I get it.
Not everyone experimented or not experimented. That was other stuff that happened.
Well, listen, I appreciate you calling.
I'm just trying to make
Canada.
My point.
No, I get it. I get it. Listen, you made your point, and I'm very sorry that you had to go through that. Obviously, you sound like a very nice man, and I obviously empathize with you with what you had to go through. But in regards to the trans stuff, I think we agree. You sound like a good man. I'm sorry you had to go through that when you were younger. Nobody should have to go through that. And we're certainly on the same page. And I appreciate you calling in. All right. MAGA callers always welcome. 702-221-SAVE. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation. Alex is next on PTL. Hey, Alex, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Brian?
Good. What's on your mind today?
Real quick, I wanted to say to the guy that what you guys were saying, tell them to name just one thing that you liked about Trump, just one policy, and they never can name even one. Well, a lot of times they'll even go as far as name something in general that they liked, and then you realize that was Biden that did it, or that was not them that did it. They actually voted against it, or you know what?
You make such a good point, and I want to add something. Like, if you actually give a statement that Donald Trump said, but you say Joe Biden made the statement, like, for example, Donald Trump once met a 10-year-old girl and said, I might date you in 10 years, right? Trump made that statement. It's on audio. But if you say Joe Biden made the statement to a Trump supporter, I've seen these videos. They'll be like, "Oh, that's terrible. That's that's terrible. That's pedo stuff." Oh, well, actually, Donald Trump said it, and then they're like, "Oh, you're lying. You're not telling the truth."
Like,
these people are, instead of being a normal person and saying, "Oh my God, I didn't know he said that. That's horrible," they can't admit they're wrong about anything. That's the problem with so many of these MAGA supporters, right?
And then they want to take credit for stuff they voted against. There's a lot of them.
Politicians are doing that. Nancy Mace has been doing that.
Nancy Mace making everything about herself, and then also taking credit for stuff. But
Nancy
yeah,
Mace,
I just wanted to ask one thing.
Nancy Mace needs to be admitted into a mental asylum or something. She's just a lunatic.
Something's going on with
Yeah.
her. She really is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a doctor, but something's going on there. But I was real quick. I wanted to make a point about, you know, not the Third Reich, Nazi Germany has a lot of similarities to now. It's pretty obvious. But the difference that I've noticed, obviously, is that everybody has a video recording device on them at all times. And that's a big difference. And I have an optimistic view of what's going to come about of all this. But I'm just saying that's certainly a pretty big game changer.
Well, it is a game changer, and I appreciate your call. And I'm going to quote Will Smith here. Will Smith said it best after the George Floyd stuff. He said, "It's not that there's more racism and you know, attacks on minorities in this country in 2025. It's just that sometimes now they're being recorded." And I think that's alluding to what you were saying, and I tend to agree with you. MAGA supporters are always welcome to call into this show. They're usually afraid to. They usually need to have the guts to do so, but they're always welcome to call in. Let's see. Let's go to Jackie. Jackie is next up on PTL. Hi, Jackie. What's going on?
Hi, Brian. First, I have a comment and then a question.
Sure.
You have made your show has made my blood pressure lower. I laugh. I've been listening for about 6 months now, most days. And it's just, it's like a whole new world. I'm not as upset as I was. I mean, I'm very angry, but you have helped me calm down.
Well, Jackie, I am so happy to hear that, but I will tell you there is some sacrifice. As your blood pressure goes down, my blood pressure goes up.
I know. You take it all on for us. And I do have a question.
Yes.
The whole time I've been listening, and it is, like I said, most days, I have never heard a woman MAGA call in. And I was wondering why that is.
So I've had a few. There have been a few, but they are few and far between.
Okay, because
yeah,
it seems like all the women are behind you, and I'm thinking, what does that tell you?
Well, you know, I have spoken to women that are Trump supporters. I have gone to Trump rallies and spoken to some Trump supporters. In fact, I was assaulted at by some Trump supporters, and that's on my YouTube page on video. You can look that up.
Oh, okay.
There was a mix of women and men there. They were extremely ignorant people, extremely ill-informed people.
I used to have Republican friends.
Yeah. They're so far gone.
They're still Republican, but
they are so far gone. If you are at the point where you are at right now, and you still support Donald Trump, and you say you like a few of his policies, you're just an imbecile. I really don't know what else to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for what you do.
Well, I'm glad your blood pressure is going down. Call me Dr. Shapiro. I appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
Just don't have me mixed up with Ben Shapiro. That's all I ask.
I don't.
Yeah, that little weasel. That little weasel. Oh, but I love to get in the octagon with that little weasel. Anyway, thank you for the call, my dear. I appreciate your kind words. That really does mean a lot to me. My blood pressure goes up. Your blood pressure goes down. 702-221 7283, the number to call. Sounds a little bit about like my dating life. I go up, they go down. Okay, we'll leave that one alone. We'll get to the next caller. Let's go to Mark. Mark is next up on PTL. Hey, Mark, what's going on?
Hello, Brian. I want to make some comments on on yesterday, the survivors.
Yes.
But first, I'd like to say Nancy Mace is already backtracking. She's refusing to sign, and I take it that she was probably threatened with being primaried for running for governor.
I agree.
RFK, I get it that everyone wants him to resign, but who do you think you're going to get in return? Look at Matt Gaetz. He left, and look what we got, Pam Bondi, right?
That's true.
So you're not going to get anyone but another bootlicker.
I agree.
Now on to the survivors, and I was pretty in awe on what one of them said. In fact, I want to comment on two of them. One of them said that in 2 weeks, we're going to make a list. Like, you knew that you were having this huge news conference and you decided not to make a list, and you're telling everyone in 2 weeks.
That was a mistake, I thought.
A Trump playbook.
Yeah.
All right? That's BS. The other one was that is a survivor that ended up at night on MSNBC, and she stated that I support Trump. I voted for Trump. How can you not release the files? And after, I know she had to view all the videos of Trump with Epstein and all the remarks about Trump being in Epstein's mansion and going to the island and the flight logs. And she still stands there and says, I support you, Trump. I voted for you. And I'm a Republican. How dare you, man? You're not getting any sympathy from me, man.
No, not getting
None
sympathy from.
whatsoever.
Listen, I'm with you, Mark. I'm with you 150%. I think you made a lot of good points there. And by the way, Mark, I said it yesterday on social media that I thought I give these survivors a lot of credit, and I feel for them for what they had to go through. I can't even imagine. But don't say you're going to put out a list. And I don't even think they should have mentioned that. When you're going to do it, just do it. Amassimo is next up on
Anasimo.
Amassimo. Sorry about that, my friend.
Anasimo.
Thank you for calling in. What's on your mind?
I kind of have a question or a comment, sort of.
Okay.
And it takes me off. It takes me off a little bit. By the way, I love your show.
Thank you. I appreciate
I'm
it.
from Texas.
Thank you.
But anyways, this FIFA before every game in the world, being Europe and all, they mentioned say no to racism.
Right.
And here comes FIFA president to Donald Trump and bends a knee and kisses his hand and ring and everything and all over it. That's what takes me off.
Yeah.
They say this is the most racist president that we ever had.
Well, think about this.
FIFA president.
I'm going to give you an
comes
analogy.
and bends a knee.
I'm going to give you an analogy, my friend, of what you just said, and I'm going to compare it to the NFL. Do you remember, because Donald Trump has been to some NFL games, remember when he called all those minorities, African Americans, and even white people that were taking a knee and peacefully protesting? He called them sons
correct.
of bitches. Right
Yes,
then and
he did.
there, Roger Goodell should have said Donald Trump is banned from every NFL game. Okay? Show a backbone. When you make a despicable statement like that, when people are peacefully protesting, and by the way, they're protesting for equality, okay? They're not protesting because they want to overturn the outcome of a free and fair election. Okay, those people are sons of bitches, not the people.
Yes.
And listen, I'm not even a big Colin Kaepernick fan, right? Not to get into that. But there's nothing wrong with peacefully protesting. You could agree with it or disagree, but they're not sons of bitches. Okay. Roger Goodell should have been. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Donald Trump would be seen at any NBA game. I don't think the commissioner would be very happy with that. I don't think Donald Trump would be seen there. But yet for FIFA, you talk about FIFA. I agree with you 150%.
They say no to racism before every game.
If you say no to racism, then you cannot have Donald Trump anywhere near anything that you're doing.
But the president of FIFA is here, bending the knee and kissing his hand and everything.
Well,
and
it's phony. Then it's phony. People should protest. It's phony.
They're all corrupt. Yeah, they're all corrupt. Even FIFA.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. No, you bring up a really good point. I agree with you.
And nobody talks about this.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And the World Cup is going to be here next year. And nobody talks about this committee or president or whatever. I don't know.
No, listen,
it just takes
you
me
bring
off.
up a very good point. I appreciate the call. I've said that about Roger Goodell in the NFL. When you call like basically 80% of the NFL sons of bitches, because at one point, mostly everybody on these teams were taking a knee. You're calling them sons of bitches because they're taking a knee because they're protesting for equality. That guy shouldn't be allowed to go to the Super Bowl. That guy shouldn't be allowed to go to any NFL arena. He should be banned. And the fact that Roger Goodell has not done that means he only cares about, the base of supporters, because, there are plenty of people that watch the NFL that are, Trump supporters. And he doesn't want to, I guess, piss off the base, but he's okay with the guy calling most of the people in the league sons of bitches. It's despicable and it's cowardly. Roger Goodell's a coward. Let's go to Damien. Damien is next up on PTL. Hi, Damien.
Hi, man. I just want to say I'm a really big fan of you. And, you taught me a lot about politics and all that. I just want to get your opinion. So I'm from Washington State.
Okay.
And I'm a Mormon. And I'm a lefty, so I don't agree with everything the church says. I just want to get your opinion. Is that kind of like a bad look on my part just because a lot of Mormons do support Trump?
No. Every person is different. You have the right to be a Mormon, and you have the right to your own political opinions. For example, I'm not going to say the word attack, but I criticize the evangelical right a lot. But I know not every single evangelical is a Trump supporter. Most of them are. And I would say the same thing about Mormons. So no, I don't think it's a bad look at all. I've always said, do what you want to do, whether it be religion. If you want to believe in the tooth fairy, you can believe in anything. I wouldn't call that a bad look. It's a bad look if you call yourself a person of Jesus or you're a religious person and you support Donald Trump. I think that's a bad look.
Yeah, I think that's insane too. What I don't get is how like obsessed these so-called Christians like worship Trump and these say he's Christ-like and God protects them. I'm like, these people have never read the Bible. I mean,
you know who else hasn't read the Bible? A guy by the name of Donald Trump.
Oh, well, obviously, I don't think he ever read.
He says it's his favorite book. He can't read one passage in the book, and he holds it upside down in front of a church. The guy is the biggest sinner you can find, and yet these right-wing evangelicals, so many of them seem to coddle him. And the guy literally sells Bibles. They're still doing that.
Yeah, they're $60 too. Do you think like you would ever give up on Trump, or do you think they'll go to war for Trump? Because I personally feel he would die.
Well,
for Trump.
I've said it's a cult. I've been calling it a cult since day one. I call it a cult now. I called it a cult on Newsmax when they interviewed me in Las Vegas. I call it a cult now. They are a cult. We don't see people with malarkey signs when Joe Biden was president because we weren't in a cult. These are cultists. Make no mistake about it. They are sick people and they are cultists. And you shouldn't look up to a politician like a rock star. Okay. That's what some of these people are doing. Okay. It's not Paul McCartney from the Beatles. Okay. There were cultist fans, but they weren't hurting anybody because they liked the Beatles, right? Yeah. These are cultist fans of Donald Trump. They buy his Bibles. They buy his trading cards. They buy all of his crap that he sells at the crypto, which, by the way, the Trump family making billions of dollars off of. This is a
I did that.
Oh God, we wouldn't hear the end of it. We would not hear the end of it.
And you know, I'm a person of color too, and the amount of shit, like, I don't mean to bring race to it, but a lot of the shit MAGA puts out about people of color hurts my feelings.
Well, listen. Here's what I'll say to that. My friend. And I'm so grateful for this. 93% of black women did not vote for Donald Trump. 80% of black men did not vote for Donald Trump. Now, I would question the 20% of black men. I would question the 7% of black women, but those are some pretty damning statistics for the Republican Party. But they seem to brag about those statistics, which is ridiculous. Black women are some of the most educated women in our society, and it goes to show you by the vote that they certainly are. Certainly most logical. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. MAGA, always welcome to call into this show and speak your mind and tell me why you disagree with me. Why do you support Donald Trump? Let's go to Courtney. Courtney is next up on PTL. Hi, Courtney.
Hey, Brian, it's Courtney again from Brooklyn. A couple things. I'm one of the 92% of black women. It was 92%, so unfortunately we had 8% sisters that went the wrong way, and it was also 85% black men. But then also remember there was a lot of voter suppression too, so that number might have even been higher if we had not had that suppression.
Sure.
But I wanted to say, as a survivor, I cried all day yesterday. I don't know, it just kind of triggered me. But then I was calling in to say what the gentleman said before. I was appalled by the two women that are still saying that they're Trump supporter. Even if they didn't think that he was involved with Epstein, he's an adjudicated rapist of E. Jean Carroll. He said that he looked in on all of these girls. He's come on to 10-year-olds. How could you then say, I'm a survivor of Epstein, but I support and voted for this man?
Yeah,
I mean,
don't listen, it's the same to me. It's the same thing as if you're a veteran or you're serving this country and you support Donald Trump when he called all of you suckers and losers. It's the same for if you're a minority or a black person in this country. When Donald Trump said, I don't want black people counting my money in my casinos, I want Jews counting my money. Donald Trump did say that. Listen, Donald Trump bragged about assaulting women. We all heard the video. And, you know, I asked that question to everybody, and it always comes back to the same. Ill-informed people that vote against their own self-interest. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, and then on the NFL, I mean, I don't know. The NFL's, been kind of racist all along, though, too. So it's no surprise. Purportedly, he's going after them again over something right now. But I agree with that guy about the NFL. But then I also blame the players, because I don't know how you would be a black player and not stand up for Colin with what he was doing.
All right, so here's my
they should have done something.
So here's my answer to that. You might disagree with me on this, but I do think Colin Kaepernick's heart was in the right place. I don't think when Colin Kaepernick started taking a knee, he did it because he wanted a shot at being a starting quarterback or he thought he would make millions of dollars. The thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and listen, Kaepernick has done some good things for charity. I'm not saying he's this horrible guy because I don't think he is. But I will say this, boy, he capitalized it himself financially. I didn't like that. And he was the poster child for equality. I didn't agree with that either. Here's why. He showed up to football practice wearing Fidel Castro shirts, which is despicable. He showed up to practice wearing pig socks, depicting all police officers as pigs. I thought he did some very ignorant things. And when you're going to be at the forefront of this movement, you better not do things like that. I don't think Colin Kaepernick is a very intelligent person. I'm willing to say that he did it for the right reasons, but I'm also going to say that I think he capitalized off it financially when I think there's more he could have done. And I don't know if you agree or disagree with me on that.
No, I kind of disagree with you on that. I actually met Fidel Castro once, but the thing is, I agree with you. He did it for the right reasons. But what I'm saying is, if I'm a black man and there's a black man working with me and he's taken a knee to fight for our people,
right,
I'm going to take that knee and I'm going to back that brother.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
Not
You don't
be
have
like,
to be black.
Okay, it's okay that you blackballed him from the whole league.
Listen, I'm a white guy. Okay. I support peaceful protest and by the way, it's freedom of speech and you have the freedom to peacefully protest. Now, if your employer says you can't do it, then that's a different story. I have no problem with what they did. I think they were doing it for all the right reasons. They're certainly not sons of bitches for doing it. The people who protested on January 6th, those are the sons of bitches who wanted to try to overturn a free and fair election. I went to Black Lives Matter protests. Okay. I protested at Black Lives Matter protests in Las Vegas with some friends of mine. So I'm with you. And I don't see anything wrong with taking a knee during the national anthem if it raises awareness and attention. And in fact, it was Colin Kaepernick who spoke to a military soldier about what should I do. And he recommended he take a knee. So I didn't have a problem with that. I have a big problem with what Donald Trump said about it. I just think Colin Kaepernick has done some very stupid and foolish things. Nobody's perfect. I also understand that. But he made more money off the field because of taking a knee than he did on the field. But I guess we could take that for what it's worth, my dear. I certainly appreciate your phone call. Thank you so much for calling in. And I appreciate people like you. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Who are we going to next year? Let's go to Simon. Simon is next on PTL. Hi, Simon.
Hey, Brian. How you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
Not much. Well, I'm calling from Canada, and just want to let you know that kind of love everything that you guys are doing, and I like your videos, and find it quite entertaining when watching some videos when MAGA calls, and to me, just so funny. And I'm with you, and I don't support what Trump is doing. I think he's going to bring. Yeah, I hope he ain't going to bring your country to the ground, but I don't think he's not doing a good job.
And by the way, I just want to add something. Thank you for calling from Canada. I'm beginning to think that Donald Trump's ankles are getting the size of Marjorie Taylor Greene's thighs. I don't know. It's interesting.
Anyway, that's what I wanted to do, and give you guys a thumbs up, and just saying I love everything that you do.
Well, I am honored.
Very much.
I am honored that we have so many people in Canada that listen to the show, and I really appreciate you, sir, for calling in and your kind words. I love my Canadian people out there. I think I saw a stat on YouTube where like 20% of the people that watch my YouTube videos are from Canada, which is damn awesome. 1 out of 5 people. That's pretty cool. 702-221-7283. If you are a Trump supporter, you're welcome to the platform here to call in and tell me why you support Donald Trump, but usually they're afraid to do so. Let's go to Brian. Brian is next up on PTL. Hey, Brian, what's going on?
Hey, Brian, it's been a while, man. I've been sitting back. I've been listening, kind of been active in the chat. I've just been listening and taking notes on all the shows that you've had, but I wanted to call in today because I wanted to tell you something.
Sure.
The quiet part is now being said out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've already known it. We've already known it. But have you seen your boy from Missouri? And no, I'm not talking about the man, Josh Hawley. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the other idiot, the other senator, the junior senator. What's his name? Eric Schmidt, something like that.
Yeah, I have. Yep.
Did you see that speech that he had a few days ago? It was something. It was a platform financed and sponsored by Peter Thiel, and he was saying that we don't need to apologize for it anymore. This is our heritage. This is our land. Roland Martin has the whole spiel. He explains it a whole lot better
Roland's
than me.
great. He's done this show before. We're going to get Roland back on the show. I think Roland Martin is fantastic.
He didn't see, this is what they always do. They never say it out loud. They never actually say the word.
They say it in private.
But we all know what you mean.
Listen, I've always said that when they say it's a DEI hire, that's their code word for the N-word. I've been saying that for
the N-word.
years.
Yes, exactly.
I've also said every single time Donald Trump or his supporters say "Make America Great Again," what they really mean is "Make America White Again." I've been saying that. They have code.
Absolutely. Yeah. Brian, if I hadn't known any better, I would say you're a black man because you think like most black people. Listen, you say it all the time. Black people, we know.
Can I tell you something funny?
92% of black women did not vote for this idiot.
Can I tell you something?
82% of black men didn't.
I have a funny story to tell you. So one of my good friends, and she's so awesome, and I'm not name dropping, but you reminded me of something. I was hanging out with my good friend. She's beautiful. She's smart. I love her. Vivica A. Fox. I was hanging out with her in LA last week. And she just told me what you told me, that she believes I was black in another life. So that's what I was told. You're not the first person to tell me that.
And I don't mean it.
I take that as a
Brian.
compliment. No, I take that as a compliment. I know. I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot. I appreciate that.
You're a man. You're a man of the people.
I also love Eddie
you're doing
Murphy.
here, you're doing
I also
God's work.
I also love Eddie Murphy movies too. I don't know if that helps, but
You're doing God's work, brother. You listen. You keep listen. I was a little turned off when you were gone. I got a little mad because the Kamala talk was starting to irk me a little bit.
Oh,
comparing her to Donald Trump and why isn't she doing this and why? Well, she's not the president.
There's zero
and she
comparison.
Also had 100 days. She didn't have enough time.
Let me be very clear and let me clear that up. Kamala Harris is a great mother. She's a great wife. She's a loving human being. She's very educated. She's intelligent and she has compassion. And I had a few moments to meet her. There is absolutely zero comparison between a good, hardworking woman in Kamala Harris and an evil, despicable felon abuser named Donald J. Trump, who wakes up in the morning and puts on 8 layers of orange makeup and thinks he's Mr. Tough Guy when he's the opposite of that. There is no comparison. Zero comparison.
You're right. If the callers haven't seen that, Brian, tell them to check out Senator Eric Schmidt speaking at some kind of forum and listen to it and tell me if that doesn't sound like white supremacy at its finest.
I will.
I'm going. I'm gonna holler at you later,
Thank you,
brother.
sir. Appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much. 702-221-7283, the number to call if you want to be a part of the program. Let's go to Aaron. Aaron is next. Hello, Aaron.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's on your mind today?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I like how you beat the heck out of the MAGA people because they're just downright idiots. They don't know have no clue. I tell you, and by the way, X, if you're listening, the gas prices in Michigan are $3.49.9.
But here's the
So
thing.
they're not going down.
They're so stupid. They don't even understand that the president doesn't set gas prices. Like even
I was
during,
just going to get to that as well.
even during the George W. Bush days when gas was through the roof, obviously having the war in Iraq, you could blame him for that. But there were when they were complaining about the gas prices under Joe Biden, the oil refineries were making record profits. It's because of greed. The president doesn't control gas prices. Now, when we're going to talk about the price of inflation when it comes to groceries, when you're deporting all these people, obviously that's going to raise the cost of certain things. But these people are so stupid. They just don't understand. They don't even understand policy. Like they think Kamala Harris was the person who implemented policy under the Biden administration. They're so dumb. They're so dumb.
I'm actually surprised how many of them don't even know who pays the tariff.
That's true. That's true. And you know,
simple.
And the Trump administration is bragging about it. Oh, we made this much money because of these tariffs. Yeah, from the American consumer, you idiots.
Right.
It's incredible.
Matter of fact, I was at a place. I'm a truck driver. And we have a terminal, and some of the truck drivers are saying we want 300 to 400% tariffs. And I said, why? Why would you want that? And he said, well, the country pays it. I said, you sixth graders know better than you.
That's the problem with so many of these Trump supporters. I don't think they could pass elementary school. I really don't. I really don't, my friend.
I'm to the point I won't even let a Trump supporter in my home.
You know what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you because they would. I don't blame you because if there's any makeup in your bathroom, they'll steal all your orange makeup. If you have any extra teeth lying around, they'll probably take those as well. If you have dentures or anything like that, they'll probably take those. And I don't have those. Yeah. So don't trust these Trump supporters. They'll still.
I just can't deal with the stupidity. A matter of fact, in a year we're moving out of the country.
Well, I can understand. Well, let's hope we have a really good midterm election. Let's hope that we get these MAGA Republicans out of office, my friend. But I appreciate you. We want more people like you in this country. You sound like a good guy and a hard worker. Let's go to Pete. Pete is next up on PTL. Hey, Pete, what's going on?
Hi, Brian. How are you?
Good. What's on your mind today?
Good. Well, I've been listening to you for a while, and I never called you, but I wanted to call in just to let you know that, you got a lot of problems on being mad with people that call in if they're MAGAs, and you get real hostile and stuff.
Well, here's the thing. I've had 45-minute discussions with people that are Trump supporters and people, Caroline Leavitt. I have people come, if I disagree with them, that's fine. But the reason why I am aggressive with some of them, and not all of them, is when they lie. When they claim that I said things that I didn't say, or when they don't answer a question. I'll be respectful to somebody if I disagree with them. Are you a Trump supporter? If you don't mind me asking, Pete?
Well, I did vote for Trump.
Okay, fine.
What I'd like to say is this.
Okay, go ahead.
You say he puts 8 layers of makeup on in the morning. How do you know that?
So you're making.
How do you know it's 8 layers?
Okay, so first of all, you called into this show to question if Donald Trump wears makeup or not. Is that?
No, I also want to talk about the ballroom a little bit. If man wants ballroom, what's the big deal about a ballroom?
Okay,
man?
so slow down. Okay, hold on. Let's do one at a time, and I'm happy to have a respectful conversation with you. Sir. Okay, I'm happy to.
I do.
Okay, so first of all, Donald Trump wears orange makeup. How do we know this? Because you can see what he looks like on the golf course when he doesn't have makeup on. Men who put on that much makeup are extremely insecure people. He's had 4 hair transplants. The reason why I mock his looks is because he mocks everybody else's looks. Just last week, he was calling the governor of Chicago obese and making Donald Trump is obese. So when somebody is a bully and they attack people on looks, you need to attack back. So that's number one. And by the way, it's not even an opinion. It's not even an opinion when I say he wears orange makeup. He does. Okay. Number 2, you want to talk about a ballroom. Who the hell cares about a ballroom in the White House? Did you see the job numbers that came out today? Did you see the job growth that came out today?
They weren't all that bad.
They weren't all that bad. They weren't all that bad. Okay, no. Hold on. No. I'm not going to excuse you. You just said the numbers weren't that bad. These are the worst job growth numbers we have had since 2009. What do you mean these numbers weren't that bad?
Here, before, in an effort to save time, I would like to tell you one thing. Okay?
No. I will let you address. Pot him down. You're not going to change the subject. I will give you the time to talk, sir. But I will give you. Well, you got to stop talking, sir. I'm trying to be respectful. I will give you the time to. I will give you the time. Just stop talking for a moment. You just said the numbers weren't that bad. The numbers that came out this morning. You're not listening. The numbers that came out this morning were the worst numbers since 2009. My math says that's the worst in 16 years. What do you mean when you say the numbers, quote, weren't that bad?
All right, can I tell you? All right. Well, you remember a couple of weeks ago when you said that every once in a while somebody could try to spoof you? Well, I ain't no MAGA Billy, and I'm just spoofing you right now.
How do I know that for sure?
Because my name's Pete. And I can't stand the White House and all that crap's going on there. And I don't like RFK and all these other people. So I do apologize for taking time, but I want to spoof you one time. I got you. I got you, buddy.
You did. I got to tell you, your accent gave it away. I was like.
I know. Well, see, I didn't grow up in Kentucky, but I did live there for a while. And I can do I never lost it. I only lived there a few years. But no, I've got that accent. I'm 67 years old now. Huh?
I got to be honest with you. Sometimes when people call in, I can tell when they're trying to get me. You got me. You got me.
I got you, buddy. All right, but I do love you, man. Yeah,
I like it when people mess with me. Pete, you're a funny guy. I appreciate the call. Have a good one.
You have a great day.
That guy was starting to get to me a little bit. He convinced me that he was a Trump supporter. I really believed him. Did you guys believe him? I believed him. Pete, I like you. You're funny. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Jeff. Jeff is next on PTL. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Good day. You know, I saw this photograph of Trump in the Oval Office, and behind him was, Pam Bondi, Patel, his cabinet, right? And I'm looking at that, and I'm going, that could be a DEI photo, affirmative action photo in any college, catalog, because you got two blonde women, you got Marco Rubio, you got Patel, and then you got J.D. Vance over there on the couch, inclusion and all that. Here, all these people rose up through affirmative action system, and yet these are the ones he has surrounding him. He has DEI hires surrounding him. And yet he's it's like it's the same.
So I'm going to prove what you're saying is correct. Let's go through the list here. Name me the qualifications that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has to be in the position that he's in. None. Thank you. I agree with you. Name me the qualifications that Kash Patel has. Just because you are an agent or in law enforcement doesn't mean, or Dan Bongino. What are the extreme experience that they have to be in those positions that they're in, or Kristi Noem for that matter?
Yeah, they have no. The qualification is that they were for Trump while they were in the agency.
You are right. There you go. There you go. Here's the one. I'm going to give you the one qualification that you have to work for Donald Trump. Are you ready for this? You must wear the Donald Trump knee pads 24/7 and wipe your mouth before you go to sleep.
Yeah, and the Supreme Court for years, Thomas has been on the Supreme Court because he is an African American nominated, put on there by Ronald Reagan as a DEI hire. Okay.
Think about Tim Scott and all the ass kissing he did. Donald Trump didn't give him a job. Think about all the other African Americans that are politicians that did not get jobs. Think about Ben Carson. Think about Byron Donalds. He didn't hire those guys. Do you think it's a coincidence that he wants to deploy all these troops into all these cities with black mayors? No, it's not, because he has a history of racism and he's a bigot. I agree with you, sir, and thank you so much for the phone call. Boy, so many of my listeners are so smart. They really are. Even those that pretend to be Trump supporters, because they're very good impersonators, okay? Pete did a really good job. He got me. I have to give him credit for it. 702-221-7283, the number to call. Let's go to Ray. Ray is next up on PTL. Hey, Ray, what's going on?
Hey, Brian. Sorry I went off the subject yesterday, but the subject today is these guys like X. When they ask them a question, they evade the issue. I notice that quite often. You show them facts that I have. Like back in the 80s when Trump hired all them illegals and so forth. They all talk around it. They're all the same. They got their head in the sand and they make up stories.
Listen, when you say that he's a 34-count convicted felon, they say it was a kangaroo court. When you bring up the E. Jean Carroll case and he was found liable for abuse, they say there were a bunch of Democrats on the jury. They always have an excuse. Donald Trump literally committing horrible atrocities and crimes on video, and they would say it's AI. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, they're liars, and it's something we learned years ago.
Yeah.
Evade the issue and lie.
Well, that's all Donald Trump does. I think he lied, like 40,000 times in his first 4 years. I think he's going to exceed that this time around. I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you. 702-221-7283. Let's go to Chad. Chad is next up on PTL. Hello, Chad.
Hey,
Hey, Brian, how you doing? I just wonder why the news pushing this Missouri senator that did that racist hate speech at the Baptist convention.
Okay, hold on. Chad, do me a favor. I had trouble understanding what you were saying. I don't know if it's our connection, but try to talk a little slower and up into your phone if you can, and go ahead, start over.
Okay, I was wanting to know why the news ain't talking about this senator from Missouri doing that racist speech at the Baptist convention.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. So they have been playing that on some networks, but they certainly have not been playing it enough, sir. You're right, Chad. And that moron and that racist needs to be exposed. It's unconscionable to me, Chad, that there are cameras there. There are people with cell phones there. And he still had the audacity to make the statements that he made. I just think it's absolutely despicable.
Because they all believe in that. Just like they want to keep up the Confederate statues, they want to keep wearing the Confederate flag. And a lot of them are racist. That's all there is to it.
Well, you're right. I agree with you. Obviously, we know what the Confederate flag stands for: bigotry and racism. I think I'm not going to say every single person that supports Donald Trump or every single person in the South that supports Donald Trump is a racist, because that wouldn't be true. But I will say that if you are a racist, you certainly voted for Donald Trump. I will say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just wanted to bring that up.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't bring it up today, and it's important. Thank you for the call, my friend. All right, let's see here. 702-221-7283 is the number to call. Let's go to Pat. Pat is next up on PTL. Hey, Pat, what's up?
Hi, Brian. It's actually Kat with a K.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Kat, I'm sorry. What's on your mind today?
That's okay. Well, I had my teeth pulled yesterday, so my voice has not been the best. So I have like 3 pulled. No, yeah, I'm having total knee replacement surgery next month. So yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to it because I have had arthritis in both of my knees my whole life.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you. But I was calling about the Epstein press conference yesterday, and I'm like you. I didn't think that there is anything that would ever get me to agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene on anything, but I was actually really pleased with what she had to say. And I think that, those women that were there, every time I'd look at them, all I could see were these little girls with hopes and dreams, and they just came crashing to an end because of these evil, wealthy men. And it's just nothing sadder to me. And I am a survivor of sexual assault. And unfortunately, thank you. Before I was 10, I had, was assaulted 3 different times.
Oh, that's terrible. I want, what would be your message to the Republicans on the committee that are blocking the release of the Epstein files? What would be your message to them?
You know what? I think you've lost the plot when you promote this man who is an adjudicated rapist. And you allow somebody who invites the Tate brothers to your fancy, little, well, I don't think it's all that fancy. It's ugly as I'll get out, but to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
I would say, what are you doing? You're selling out your mothers, your sisters, your daughters, your nieces, every little girl that you see on a playground. You've sold them out for power and money. And you've ruined lives in the process. I mean, and that's just the beginning. But I also say to the women that are survivors, or any survivor, because men go through sexual abuse too.
Sure.
And I would just say that shame is not yours to carry.
You're right.
And it's not yours.
I was speaking with Don Lemon earlier today because Don Lemon is a survivor as well. He's a great guy. And he went up to Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you got to see the video on social media. And Marjorie Taylor Greene wouldn't answer any of his questions. She was so rude to him. Listen, we all know that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a despicable human being. We know that.
Of course. Yeah.
Marjorie, and thank you for the call, my dear. I'm sorry for what you had to go through. I truly am. Marjorie Taylor Greene's a despicable human being. Do I agree with what she did yesterday? Yes, I do. Once in a while, a squirrel can find a nut now and then. Or in this case, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I think she found 2 nuts. I'll leave them at that. Do we have anybody else on the line? I can't believe I just said that on the radio. Let's go to Kevin. Kevin is next. What's up, Kevin?
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Kevin?
Sorry, took you off speaker.
That's okay.
First time, long time.
Thank you. What's on your mind?
My question is, do you believe there is such a thing as a secular Christian?
It's possible. I think everybody's different. I mean, I'm probably not a professional when it comes to this stuff, but I think every human being is different. Every Christian is different. So yes, I do think it's possible. Yes. I think it's possible. Do you disagree with me on that?
Well, the word secular and Christian seems to be an oxymoron.
Well, I understand why you would say that. Let me say it this way. The overwhelming majority of Christians did not support Kamala Harris. We know that for sure. The overwhelming majority.
I'm not asking for, is there such a thing as a secular
Yes, I think you can.
Christian?
I think you could be a Christian, and I think you could lean to the left. I think you could be a Christian, and I think you could be in the middle, my friend. So to answer your question, yes, I really do think that is quite possible. Maybe you disagree with me on that. I don't know. I don't think I've met one yet, but I do think it's possible. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right. I've been wrong before, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not always right on this show. I'm always going to give you my opinions. Thank you to No Money, who says, don't forget RFK had over 80 people who lost their lives in Samoa. I think I already did that one. For others that are in the YouTube super chat, your questions and comments heard. Hranuga, flyover for the fallen pilot. Everybody knows that Taco doesn't care about military. You're right about that. Shelley says, I too am immune and compromised. Need COVID booster. Worried about people. Sad. Shelley, I am as well. And obviously I am in your corner 150%. Dave says, not to change the topic, but the movie Primetime War, it's the best movie I ever seen in 25 years. Well, guess what, Dave? I'll have to check out that movie. I will have to check that out. Thank you, everybody, by the way, for joining us. We will be back at it tomorrow. We're going to try to get Don Lemon on the show tomorrow. But there's a lot to get to and a lot to talk about. And we got Wolfers, who's, as my producer reminds me, Wolfers is going to be joining us on the show tomorrow. Brilliant economist. We'll try to get Don Lemon on the show as well. Please check out my website and support what I do at pushingthelimits.live. Again, that website is pushingthelimits.live, where you can make donations and support independent media. Thanks for joining us, everybody, on all the media platforms. My YouTube at PTL Radio Show. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.